Hello and welcome back to Become a God. We have the last episode of this week and I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to try a deck that looked quite spicy, and this is actually Calussien's green and blue Faeries that was featured in the Ruunin's Open, and Calussien actually did really well with this deck. And I was very excited to try it out because I'm a big fan of Faeries, always have been. I remember back in the day when I was playing Free Wish Faeries, which was a lot of fun. But you don't see Faeries a lot anymore, and to be fair, there's only one Faerie in this deck, but you do still have to build around it because they do rely on a lot of events. I feel this deck is really well constructed. Now, this build is actually different to the one that Calussien posted on the hub following his success in the Ruunin's Open, because Calussien actually said on that post that he felt that the lack of Battletoads was one of the reasons that he lost in the final. So I was thinking, well, I should probably add Battletoads. That would definitely help this deck out. So I've made a few tweaks. I've added the Battletoads. I took out the Spell Wheels. And yeah, I feel like this deck could probably be a little bit better now going forward. Calussien, if you're watching this, dude, be sure to leave a comment if you have any thoughts on my play. This is your deck. It is going to be quite complicated because Faeries generally are not that straightforward, especially since you have to build another game plan around them. And this deck is going to be Yakapult, which is why it has 3 copies. So yeah, we'll see how the games go. I'm not too sure where I'll be on the ladder with this deck. I'm not too sure how it matches up in the meta game, but we'll find that out as we play through some matches. Alright guys, first match. We got Faeries to start things off. That's really good. We're just going to mulligan everything else because we'd rather just pick up power-ups. There we go, we have a power-up there. To go with our Faerie. So the one thing about Faeries, especially like this version, you either want to go down green or blue, I think. Just because, like, for example, Flower Silk Faerie takes a bit of setup, so if I'm committing to forests, I'm probably not going to be able to play some of my blue cards for a little while, unless I pick up some land ramp. And the same goes with when you start with blue, so if you have like Battletoads and Aurora in your starting hand, you want to just focus on being able to get those creatures down before you start investing in forests and getting the Faeries. That's kind of like how I feel you should play this deck. Like I said, Calussien, if you are watching, you just let me know if I'm doing anything wrong. But it looks like we have a difficult start because Faeries are very vulnerable to red. And yellow as well, but red more so. Ground Shaker kills Faerie. So we might have to go, like, explore, forest, wait, lake, Faerie, draw a card with the Shifting Tide to try and make sure this triggers, or we can just draw a card organically, but we do need to build lands towards the Frog Tossers and of course to that Yakapult. And it's going to be Axe Grinder, okay. I think we go down the opposite side. Maybe we just go, since it's mono red, maybe we just go explore, forest, into double Elderwood. It's not too bad, actually. How much? We're going to push this up to 9. It's going to gain even more stats. No, this might be a good opportunity to actually go down the same side and use this Faerie to just fight my opponent off board. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to just go straight into this. So now when this actually turns over, or procs, or triggers, whatever you want to call the Faerie ability here, it's going to gain +4 life, so it's going to go all the way up to 13 life, and +1 attack, so it's become a 6/13. That's a bit of a problem for red. Well, it's going to be red-yellow, actually. Okay, very interesting. Yep, it did turn over. Fantastic. Fantastic. So we actually have more power-ups going forward. It's very interesting. So I think I'm just going to take a draw with this. I could actually shift this back, move here, and lock this in. I quite like that because what it does is stops my opponent from collecting Faeria on the following turn. Puts me in this really good position where I'm just in between stuff. I am going to power this up again. So we're just trying to make life as difficult as we can for our opponent here with these power-ups. This can't be killed by Last Nightmare for 2 turns as far as I know. So we want to get as much value as possible from this Faerie, just kill as many creatures with this high life stat. And this high attack as well, there's not going to be many creatures that can survive this actually. Especially in red and... I mean, Ogre Battler would be one, but I wouldn't expect to see that. So Fnatic gets to collect anyway. That's a really nice line from our opponent here. Alright, Wild Growth, interesting. Alright, let's just move here. I'm gonna take a lake. Wild Growth. And clear this. So I'm gearing up towards a top deck now. This is a little risky, but my thought process here is if I top deck like Yakapult or Frog Tosser, I'm going to be in a crazy good position. So I'm just going to try my best to make that happen. Flame Burst and clear. So Ground Shaker in a fantastic position for us. It's nowhere near collecting Faeria. The Water Elemental's not bad actually. If only that. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, but you know what? That's fine. I'm gonna leave this gap. I might actually just block this off actually, and just stop my opponent like pushing down this way. And this gap's fine for me because I have jump creatures and I have creatures that can fly. So just making life awkward, which is perfect for me. So yeah, we can keep drawing. Gift of Rakoa. So I'm thinking just Frogify. Just go for the Water Elemental into Frogify. We're 2 collectors now. We're playing a little bit into Firestorm. Well, actually playing a lot into Firestorm. But I think this is Red Yellow Burn, or some variant of Red Yellow Burn. Maybe a variant on the Red Yellow Midrange that I had built. So, I don't know, we'll see what happens. If this doesn't die, which, to be fair, I'm not expecting this to live, in all honesty, but if my opponent has to invest a card into clearing, that's absolutely fine. As long as this elemental lives, I feel like I'm in a good spot, because if I do get a good draw going into the next turn, so let's say I pick up a Yakapult, or I pick up like a Frog Tosser, that will give me the luxury of double neutral, and then I can double collect, and I can have that water elemental jumping back and forth, you know, gaining that Faeria for me, and that will give me even more flexibility to take the draws, because I don't have to worry about my land so much. But it's going to very much depend on what happens in my opponent's turn. I might have to draw if my board gets cleared, but I am really gearing towards a Yakapult draw, maybe a Frog Tosser. I feel like if I can pick up one of those cards, I'll be really far ahead if I get to play a strong reactive Frog Tosser, or I get the Yakapult down and it starts doing some work, starts doing that damage and creating those little yaks to cause problems. Clock is ticking. Goes for the draw. Kaleem's training. Collect Faeria. Trade. Pass. And there we have it. Yakapult. Fantastic draw there. So let's double neutral out. We can get the double collection. Get this Yakapult down. And now we're in a pretty good spot, because even if Gyarados was to come down now, Yakapult will live. And that's good. That's very good for us. And then if I was to say top deck, I don't know. I guess I could top deck Elderwood, but it wouldn't be enough to kill the Gyarados. Like, Elderwood Gift of Rakoa wouldn't be enough. So I'd have to draw like Ruunin's Guidance and then draw again and then get Elderwood. So I'd need like a combo of like power-ups for the Yakapult to kill a Gyarados if it came down here. But I don't actually think Gyarados that bad, really. As long as this lives. I mean, I can... If I get Battletoads, I could go... I could get Battletoads down, and then I could, like, maybe Gift of Rakoa this on the following turn if it lives. So I feel like I have some good options. Just for a mountain here. Interesting. I can smell Scourge Flame from a mile away at this point. Oh, I did pick up Battletoads after all. Okay. So we're going to +1. No, we don't even need a +1. We could actually just jump back. Because I want to stop... I've got a feeling that there's Scourge Flame in this deck, so I want to make it more awkward for my opponent to play Scourge Flame. So let's say we just jump back here. We go for double neutral. Lock these lands in. I'll go for Battletoads now. And we'll Gift of Rakoa. I'll just take care of this. So again, we're very vulnerable to Gyarados, we're very vulnerable to Firestorm, but now my Yakapult is massive. So even if a Gyarados came down, it still has it'll still have a 6/6 Yakapult to deal with. It's absolutely fine for me. But if there's no AoE, I'm in a crazy good position. I got quad collection going on. You know, the 6/9 Yakapult just poking away at my opponent's orb. It's not looking good. It's looking like very specific answers are required to move forward here. Yeah, collecting 4 Faeria, so I'll go to 7 Faeria and draw 2, and I'll have 2 cards in hand. Might just see a Nightmare come down, maybe just a Nightmare to finish this off, which is fine because it's kind of done its job. It killed the... No, it killed the Brigand and it developed a Yak, so I'm in a pretty good position here. I don't really see how my opponent wins. Gyarados is probably the best option, but even then, I still have my 6/6 Yakapult flinging away. It's a Scourge Flame. Told you guys, I could smell it. Like this kind of land development here is very suggestible of a Scourge Flame Spectre. Cypher's Wrath. Yep. Okay. So I'd like to pick up Aurora or just a power up, so we can take a draw. Feels good. For Goro, okay. What does this merchant have for us? We could actually turn everyone to Yakapults with the urn of the medallion. Sorry, but yeah, it's not really a thing. So while the Scourge Flame is kind of annoying, it is gonna create a bit of inevitability for us, especially if say another Scourge Flame comes down and starts chipping away at my Yaks. But I do have a Frogify now, so I can kind of stop that burn damage a little bit at least. But I should win over the next 2 turns. So my opponent either needs to kill me in 2 turns or get rid of this card basically, because this is my win condition. And again, I'm in a position to quad collect, which is a big problem right now. Because I could just keep drawing cards, have loads of Faeria to work with, answer all these threats. You can get value here, like value hit on the Yak. I was going to go for Goro. So, just trying to starve me a Faeria, which is completely reasonable here. If I draw Aurora, I have Lethal. It's pretty good. Oh, and we're just going to see a scoop there. Like I said, looking pretty bleak. Oh, first of the win of the day. I did take this deck into casual because I was a bit nervous about playing it on ladder. But I had some success in casual with it, so I felt like we can just go straight into ranked. But looking pretty good so far. I do like this deck. Playing against Red, Yellow, Burn, I'm pretty happy with how this performed because that matchup could have been really bad, but the massive Faerie was just such a big problem for Red. It allowed us to take early board control, get quite comfortable, get some good land blocks off, and then finish off our opponent. Alright guys, another match going up against Don Pork. Oh my goodness, this could be a pretty good match. Don Pork, very talented player. So, last game in the Mulligan, I was talking about the elements and how we're gonna go about our game plan. Now in this situation, I actually have an option to get a Faerie down quite early. But I don't know what my opponent's playing. So I'm a little concerned again if Red shows up. Now, alternatively, I could just go Lake, Water Elemental Lake, and I have all my lakes then, and then I can start building forest and building towards a Faerie. And I think I prefer that. I like that a bit more, because once we start setting up the lands, I could go Lake, Water Elemental, Lake again, or go Forest, and then play Flower Silk, then draw a card. So I'm making sure that my Flower Silk has an opportunity to proc before my opponent has an answer to it. It may not proc, I may not draw the event and get that juicy power up, but at least I'm giving the Faerie a chance. Now this will depend on what my opponent plays. If my opponent's just playing a mono blue, this probably will live, this will survive, but going first, I wasn't sure, so I decided to go down the Water Elemental line to start things off and then see what happens. Oh, Yakapult. Okay, so it's going to be a lake. So I'll take a forest here, and then I'll go for the lake. So I can go... probably can safely get a fairy down for this turn if I wanted to. Unless it's Emperor's Command. But do I play around Emperor's Command at this point? Probably not. That's a very specific card. Unless this is a dream... Unless I make a read this as Dream Reaver, which then I might say, okay, Dream Reaver wants to heal. Emperor's Command is a good heal card. Could be in the deck, but I haven't seen enough at this point to really decide if Flower Silk Fairy will be a safe option. Okay. Okay, so this is some Disciple deck. Speaking of fairies. So yeah, maybe... I mean, there still could be Emperor's Command. Emperor's Command is a fantastic event card. Maybe I just Frogify this now and just get rid of it. Make sure it's not a problem going forward. It's very difficult to say from this position. But I feel like I'll go for the Fairy. I'm going to take the risk. If there's an Emperor's Command, there's an Emperor's Command. If it's a Falcon Dive, what am I going to do? An event was drawn. Is that top deck Emperor's Command? Wow. That'd be really sad. And this little Fairy's going to be able to collect from this side now. Oof. Then he said, you know, I took the risk. I took the gamble. My opponent either has it or he doesn't. If my Fairy was allowed to live for a turn, I'd be pretty happy. I think my biggest fear is land mobility. Being able to like shift in tide, because I want to Frogify this now and finish it off. That's my plan. And I don't really care about this too much because Frog Toss is such a good answer to it. But this card can get out of hand very quickly if I don't, just check it very early on, which I was actually considering. Do I go for an early Frogify? But I don't know, it kind of felt bad. So for this, I'm going to... Oh wow, actually this might be a really good play from Dompork. Just play a land here, play a creature in front and make Frogify really awkward. Yeah, I like this a lot. So Dompork just basically recognizing that being able to Frogify clear is very difficult in this position. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to go for the Frogify. I'm still gonna go for it. Very nice. Very nice. I like this. Just smart play from Dompork. Well, does that change anything? Because now I can Frog Toss her, but I can't Frogify it as well. So if I was to Wild Growth and a land went here, I'll have 7 Faeria. I could Lake here, jump, and go back up to 8 Faeria, but still wouldn't be enough to Frog Toss her and go for the Frogify. But one thing it does allow me, if the Wild Growth does land here, I get to Frogify this and clear and then take some value. It's a difficult position to be in. Let's Wild Growth first. Let's see where it goes. That's actually not too bad. If it went here, I'd be a little sad. I could jump back. I could jump back and then kind of or just clear this and then Frog Toss at this side. I think I'm going to do that. I can Frogify this at any point. So yeah, I feel like I should probably... Frog Toss is really bad in this position though, because I don't get the frog. Okay, let's just go with our original plan. Let's go for the... let's go for the Frogify. Yakapult's actually... Oh, I ran out of time. Yakapult's not bad there, but I wouldn't be able to Frog Toss her on the follow-up because I wouldn't have any Faeria, so... Although I was kind of like instinctively trying to go for the Yakapult to make things a little more cautious for my opponent, it's not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. I'm just going to Frog Toss at this side. Which is again a little weird now, simply because of this card. This Fairy showing up. Because then this fairy could come here and clear. So I probably want to play my Frog Tosser here. What are we doing next turn? We don't really have a play for next turn, so yeah, we'll do it like this. So I'm just protecting my frog. Like, I don't really mind if this Battletoad kills my 4-1, but what I do mind is if this 3-3 kills my 2-2 and lives. Something I'm not willing to happen at this point, because I want this collect Faeria, but then I have a good like mobile creature which I can use Elderwood Embrace and start, you know, taking care of this board. Frog Tosser would be a fantastic draw. I just want to draw all my Frog Tossers now. It's Frog Tosser time. Because if I draw all my Frog Tossers, you know, I get so much removal. I start to redevelop on board with little Battletoads that show up after. You know, I'm facing Mono Blue, so what's Mono Blue really going to do against a load of Battletoads? Not a lot. So, yeah, just give me Frog Tossers. I see maybe an Aurora. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Aurora's coming down on this. Push 6 damage. Lake Colossus? Yeah, gonna clear. Okay. Oh, Darkstalker. Bit of a nuisance, the Darkstalker. So this is interesting because I have a couple of options here. Now I could double power up, clear this. 6, 7, and that will push me out of reach of the gem shell. Alternatively, what I could do is I could play Ruunin's Guidance, clear this, which gives me 1 life. Now I could get Emperor's Commanded again, but I am challenging this Faerie at least, and then just stick a Yakapult on this tile, which challenges this, and it also challenges my orb. So if anything comes here or this moves in, now I have a way to clear it. Now the only problem with that is my frog will jump here, and the fairy will move here, which will give it an angle to shoot up this way and hit my Yakapult. Now I could double neutral instead and put it here, but it still puts me in the issue of Gem Shell can move here, a Yakapult won't have the angles to attack it, and then it could actually collect off this well and finish me off. So I think what the best way to do this is just clear this and play the Yakapult on the well. Because now if the Gem Shell does decide to move in, I will be able to clear it with a power up. If this decides to stay here, I could shoot this up and develop a collector on this side. Now, I'm not in a good position. I'm gonna throw that out there. I don't think things are going well for me, but I feel this might be the best way to get it going. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna cost me the game. I could have pre-buffed, I could have played around it. Maybe I should have predicted that. Well, a frog toss is not bad. It's just not great. Gets me back into the match, but the problem is my opponent has Shifting Tide or Sunken Tower. Move here, hit this, shoot this. Probably going to be game from there, but we'll see what happens. Spell Wheel. See, I don't know if the Gem Shells are from Spell Wheel. I don't know if the Aurora's Trick is from Spell Wheel. I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping track of the Spell Wheel cards. So these two are Spell Wheel cards, I know that much. think I'm taking value. Which works out okay for me in a way because I can Elderwood Embrace at least and finish this off. But things are not looking good in terms of, you know, what's going, as far as like board positions going. So that's... Right, Banquet. I'll hop on over. Just going for that up close and personal Yakapult. Ludoan. Yeah. Okay. Well played. We'll wrap this one up. There's no point in continuing. But well played, Onpork. Very interesting deck. Nice to see kind of a spicy mono blue competing at this high level of God. Awesome game, dude. Let's move on to our next. Alright, guys. Another match. We're going to throw away all of this. Nothing useful there. I picked up the Faerie. That's not bad. So yeah, well, I guess we're going for the Flower Silk. Say hello. We'll see what element shows up from my opponent. See a mountain, or maybe even green now. Like green can just use the Deepwood Stalker. It's going to be a mountain, so we will not be playing this without the ability to draw. So I'm going to pass. Actually, we'll go for the Shifting Tides draw next turn. I hope we just draw another power up. Oh, wow, okay, it's going to be Red Rush. Okay. Mace Man? Yep, okay, Mace Man. Come and say hello. Very dangerous kind of fairy now. Oh, man. I'm really scared. This is just not going to do anything. I'm just going to play the Ruin's Guidance, going to draw the card, and then nothing happens. Do we just have to do it? Do we have to just roll the dice and see if I get the proc? I'm in an okay position if I get the proc. I'm not in a great position, but yeah, okay. We're gonna do it. Feels good, guys. Oh, feels very good. Let's do it. Close to Frog Tosser now. That turned out amazing. Amazing, see? Absolutely amazing. That could have been really bad for me, but all of a sudden I'm now in the game. I felt like if that didn't turn, I was in trouble. But the fact that I drew another power-up is incredible. If it was Elderwood Embrace, it'd be even better, but you know, I'll take what I can get at this point. It's pretty funny that that actually happened. Oh, I'm gonna go in. Alright. Is that a Crumbling Golem? Flameburst, Cypher's Wrath. So both of us used a lot of cards from hand. I guess this puts me in a good position to just be able to Frog Tosser on the follow-up. Because if anything small comes down, like a Brigand, although it refunds Faeria, puts me in a pretty good spot because I'll have two creatures. Mountain... Crumbling Golem? Grimguard. Okay, that one's a little annoying. Maybe we go for Battletoads instead here. We can take a draw because I've decided no Frog Tosser right now. Go for this as well. Just finish off our lands. It just gives us a lot of flexibility going to the next turn. Now, if a Gift of Steel doesn't come down here, I feel like I'm in a good position. I'd much rather my opponent just play a creature that I can Frog Tosser, generate that additional frog, and then I get the additional power up for the Gift of Krakoa, pushing my creature, my Battletoad, up to a 5/5. But I'm kind of banking on right now that there's no like removal, and actually this works out perfect for me. So I can clear this with the Frog Tosser. Happy days. And then I can finish this off with the Gift of Krakoa. And this lives, which is even better. Feels good, guys. So I'll put this as a defender, actually. +1. Jump over, finish that off. And yeah, why not? Let's do some orb damage. We have some frogs up there. Let's just start poking away. My opponent has 6 Faeria to work with. Could Firestorm, I guess, but it wouldn't do much. I'd still have my 6/4 in a pretty good position where it can move into double collection on the left-hand side, so I could just jump over here. If a Ground Shaker comes down, like, I might play a defensive Ground Shaker, which would be a little bit annoying, but you know, if my opponent's playing creatures up here, that's fantastic. You carry on, and that means you're not playing creatures next to my orb. I'm all for that. I am being rushed down at the end of the day, so yeah, that works out just fine for me. So now this is a bit awkward. I'd rather draw. I think I just draw. I could play my Fairy first. Yeah, I'm happy to play the Fairy here, then take the draw. That's fine. That's not bad. Gonna move this to the middle. It gives us a bit more flexibility of what I want to do with a 6/4. Now I could move it here, but then I move it into reach of the Gift of Steel clear on this. And if I put it in the middle, like, look how much reach I've got. I can come back and defend if I want to. I can play more aggressively, and it's out of reach of the Queen's Guard. So I get to act before my opponent does with this creature, which is what's important to me right now. And I get Aurora next turn. Aurora's going to be pretty amazing, to be honest. Especially if this turns as well. I could just, like, lock this in, and then I could, like, clear the Queen's Guard. With this guy, and then collect Aurora and kill this guy. Like, I have so many different options. It's pretty... I'm in a pretty good spot, all things considered. I'd really like to draw... Yeah, I'd really like to draw something like Elderwood Embrace at this point, but you can't have it all. So I need a lake. I can Fagoro first. Let's Fagoro here. Because it still gives us enough Faeria to play Aurora, but if I pick up that Elderwood Embrace, I'm in a pretty good spot, because now I can just clear this, I can finish this off and collect off this well. So yeah, let's do that. Ah, we can even get a Yakapult down, guys. We can even get a Yakapult. Look at this board. What's Rush going to do against this? It all came down to that Flower Silk Fairy. Absolute madness. I just drew the nuts. Like, it's just like I was rolling the dice to see if I could stay in the game, and then I just drew, like, probably the second best card I could have gotten, which is the Ruunin's Guidance. The first would have been Elderwood Embrace. It's pretty incredible. Cypher's, well, Flame Burst in it. So I can shoot this, but the problem is it puts this here. Actually, it's probably not that bad. I can just jump for Goro up. I can move this here to start moving the Frog Tosser into this region. And then just Aurora this and finish off the Brigand. I'll take a draw. We'll see what's going on. Elderwood Embrace. So I don't even have to Aurora now. I can Aurora, actually. I can Aurora this, which is even better. So yeah, we'll just Elderwood this guy. Aurora this guy. Yeah, we'll just move this. So we're going to move Frog Tosser over here. So if an Axe Grinder comes down on this spot, Frog Tosser can just finish it off. Easy peasy. And then we're quad collecting as well. We have a massive board, which I'm not entirely sure that can be answered at this point. Just a Ground Shaker. It's going to be a Queen's Guard. Yep, that's fine. Let's take a draw first. Another Yakapult. Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's be real. I could have had lethal there. Not even sure. I was just like, yeah, I'll just do what I want at this point. I could have had lethal. Did I have lethal? Probably. I don't know. Elder with this. 6, 2. Maybe land here. Yeah, if I potentially had lethal. If I did, guys, let me know. Don't really care. I wasn't going to lose that game. There was just no way. I had the luxury to just be a little bit silly in that situation. But good game so far. 2-1. I like this deck a lot. It's very cool. Let's keep playing. Alright guys, another match. Things are going very well so far. I'm not going to jinx it though. You know what I'm like. I'll be like, things are going great. And I lose my next 2 games. I spoke too soon. I spoke way too soon. Look at this hand. What am I supposed to do with this? Oh my goodness. Alright. Alright, let's just grind it out. See what happens. I'm going to draw another Frog Tosser or another Yakapult. I can sense it. Can I have that card? I'll have that card. Give me that one. I want that free that you just played. All right, we're drawing. Okay. I think so. We're just gonna play it out. You know, it could turn around for us. I mean, we just had the most amazing gem Flower Silk Faeria I've seen in a long time. I need to the fall somewhere, right? Just to balance the world out. I can't have the amazing Flower Silk followed by an amazing game straight after. Yep, this is not looking good. Good job, Flower Silk. You showed up a little too late for me. This can now move onto my land and create an aggressive land. I might just explore here to make sure you can't take a well spot at least. And then we just go for Flower Silk, cross our fingers, Frogify doesn't exist. I mean, if I draw Wild Growth, it's not too bad. Like, I kind of just need to draw Land Ramp at this point. I need to make sure I can get a Frog Tosser off to get back in this game. I'm just in a terrible position. Like, Flower Silk Faeria is such a bad draw here because what am I gonna do? Just play a 1/1? Is that what we're going for here? Just play a 1/1 and hope my opponent doesn't kill it? So yeah, it's not a great draw. I'll go for the Water Elemental now. So this actually makes things a little better. Not much, but a little. Actually, I could have Forest here and played the Flower Silk safely. That would have been better. But then again, if this was to actually just proc or trigger, it would kill the Flower Silk easily. So yeah, let's just gear towards the Frog Tosser. We'll see if the 4/2 just decides to clear. Maybe the 3/3 jumps over. It's actually better for me if the 4/2 kills my Water Elemental, because then my Frog Tosser lives when I go for the Frog Tosser clear on the opponent's Water Elemental. But it looks like my opponent's going to play safe here. Maybe just play Aurora. Yep. Dude, no, not on that one. Do it on the 4/2. Come on, be nice. I've had a rough opening to this game. Like an unwinnable hand. There's just no winning is gonna happen. I'm just gonna, I don't know. Like, do I just die? Like, probably. Maybe I just go for double Flower Silk and pray to God that I just don't die. I mean, I could Frog Tosser, sure, but what's it really achieve? Not a lot. Yeah, okay, let's just Frog Tosser then. Let's get that going. Frog Tosser this. Elder with this? That seems reasonable. Oh, okay, so got something going. Frogify is just gonna murder me and blow me out here, but I'm just playing to the best of what I've got. Wow, that's a Frogify. Double collect, clear, feels good. Probably just run the 4-2 into the Frog Tosser. Actually, doesn't even need to, just push damage, just push 10 and see if I have an answer. What do I need to draw? Probably another Frog Tosser at this point. Six. Is that Emperor's Command? Oh, really? Aurora's Trick? Why is everyone playing Aurora's Trick today? I decided to play Faeries, and I get Aurora's Trick twice in one episode. I don't even think that I've been Aurora's Tricked this much ever playing this game. Why? Why do this to me? I don't deserve this. Alright, I guess we just clear this guy out. We just take a gamble. We just go for the Frog Tosser on my own Faerie. Just remember that. It's my Faerie, which I've lost. I hope for the best. Hope that there isn't lethal somehow. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. I said, "Ah, things are going great." Then I draw that hand. I'm just like, well, I kind of deserve that. I was too optimistic too quickly. Yep. It's looking pretty bleak. Yep. Alright. My opponent drew cards, I didn't. That does happen. So yeah, we'll write this one off. 2-2, going to our last match, and I will say right now, I don't know how it's going to go, how it's going to turn out. I'm just going to play with what I get. I'm not expecting to do well, I'm not expecting to do bad. So yeah, let's get into our next match. Alright guys, into our last match of the day. Not a hand I want to see, let's get some creatures. Nice, Battletoads or Faeries, so we have a choice now where we can go. In terms of, I mean, I guess we could go lakes or we could go forest. I think I want to go lakes because Frogify seems really good. It's going to line up quite nicely for our board control options, and then we can go for the forest a little bit later and get these flower circles down. So it looks like our opponent's just kicking things off with forest. It could be Crackthorn at this point. It could just be mono green. It's hard to say. I need to see some more. I need to see some more lands before I make that decision. So if a mountain comes down, it's just going to be Crackthorn. This card generally features in Crackthorn, but no, it's Grove Guardian, so it's going to be a mono green. Okay. So now we can take our first forest. We can go for a forest here, and we'll just pass. And then this moves to collect. I lake here, jump across, hit it with the Battletoad, and move this Battletoad into the double collection position. Ancient board to back it up as well. It's pretty good. So yeah, take the lake. Jump over. Frogify. And clear this out. So now if I draw an Elderwood Embrace, or if I was to draw another Ruunin's Guidance, I'm going to be in a good position because I'm going to be able to clear this, but also start setting up for my Frog Tosser on the left-hand side. So I'm just causing trouble here until I can get that Frog Tosser down and take care of Sagami Warrior. Now, Faeria Golem is going to be a problem. Not good, is it? So I can clear this board. I can go Elderwood into Guidance. That will push me up enough to clear the board, but the Faeria Golem is just going to take its place, which doesn't really work out for me. So I think my line here is just go for a Fairy and just pass and see what happens. I feel a little foolish using that Frogify now. I should have considered Faeria Golems for the future, but unfortunately it didn't happen, so I'm just going to have to do my best and maneuver around this card more than anything, I would imagine. Double neutral. Okay. Nice. Oh, wow. Okay, so Frogify does show up. That's pretty good. How do we want to do this? Maybe I don't need the Frogifiers, because if I double power up this, clear this guy out, I'm going to have 6 power, then I can Frog Toss to this over here. Faerie Golem comes down, clears my Frog, and we'll only have 4 life left if there are no power-ups, and then the Frog Tosser can finish it off. I think that works out pretty good for us. So let's do that. We're going to have a Fairy down as well. Yep. Boost this up. Frog Tosser. I mean, we could even Frog Tosser here, which is a little better actually, because if my opponent does have the power-up, we get to see if the power-up comes down first. So, for example, let's say the Faerie Golem has an Elderwood Embrace coming on it. It only kills my 4-1, which means my 6-4 can retreat, or I can use my 6-4 in combination with the Frogify. So we're just going to see a clear. Okay, I can roll with that. That's pretty good for me, unless we're just going to see more creatures come down. So now I can Frogify this, and then clear the Faerie Golem. Unless we see another Faerie Golem. We see another Faerie Golem, alright. So I feel it's just a little better to Frogify this one. I'm not sure what we do about this card just yet. Let's take a draw, let's see what we find. Not good, that's for sure. Maybe I just do this. I can go for the Frogify here. Clear this out. Move up. Clear this out. And then just go for Battletoads. So we're starving our opponent, we're forcing our opponent into that left-hand side. Now another Faerie Golem is going to be a problem. That last Faerie Golem is going to take a bit of a beating to get down, but we've dealt with 2 pretty efficiently actually. 1 Frogify and then 1 with our 6-4, and we now have ball control. So Gift of Krakoa here could be very strong for me. Sagami Warrior, okay. Water Elemental, not a card we want to see in this situation. Yakapult, fantastic. Okay, so let's clear. Just clear Sagami Warrior, don't really care about it. I'm going to move this to the middle. Gives me a lot of flexibility of where I can go. I can help the Water Elemental clear this creature if I put this in the middle. I can help this Fairy clear this creature. Let me just get this Yakapult down. And Yakapult is going to be a problem for my opponent. Not a very good way to deal with it in mono green. I guess you could like Crystal Flower. You could like empower your Deepwood Stalker or something. Maybe use a teleport. Could use teleport here, teleport this down, clear my Yakapult. But that's fine, like that just opens this up to die at the hands of my Water Elemental or my Flower Silk Fairy, which I'm absolutely fine with. And actually my Flower Silk Fairy is taunting this spot, so the teleport isn't an option. So without even really knowing it, I managed to protect my Yakapult from a Sagami Grove Caller. So this is a good move because this moves it out of reach of these 2 creatures. Oh, Tiki Totem, okay. And Verdant Force. So just packing up around here, making my Yakapults a little worse. Which is fine, I guess. I think we just collect, move, double neutral, and then Yakapult and get a 2/2 going. What could I draw? I really want to kill this, but I don't think I have that option just yet. So yeah, let's do that. Let's double neutral. We'll go up. We'll go here. Again, just protect him from that teleport. We can actually Yakapult in this spot now. We don't need to use this. Let's just keep our card in hand, just so our opponent's kind of thinking about this card and what it could be. It's a bit more useful than just having a random forest somewhere. Now this can clear the Yak. Easy peasy, right? But the problem is, if this does clear the yak, I just shoot another yak, and then that yak will actually kill the Grove Guardian. So Horsemaster coming down, going to be protected by my Faerie. Faerie in a very good position here to just protect my Yakapults. Absolutely fine. Which means this angry yak can get some work done. I can actually kill this Grove Guardian. I can actually move here, jump over, kill this, or jump here, kill this. Oh, the Gift of Rakoa, what a draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5 power. Which will be enough. Actually, I can zip my Flower Silk over and clear, but I do block the path. So I'm going to have to decide if I'm shooting my Yakapult before I decide to do that. Now, do I take a draw? I think so, because like I don't have much else going on. I don't have much else going on. So yeah, we're going to go for the clear with the Flower Silk Fairy. Or maybe it doesn't matter if I can't hit the orb. Because I can move this here. Oh, this isn't going to get a shot off. I guess I can move this here instead. Yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. So let's move here. Shoot the orb. Make another yak. Feels good. Gift of Rakoa. Move over here. Finish this off. Collect off this well. Move up. And finish off the totem. Keeping the 2 Wild Growths in hand because I want to suggest to my opponent I have answers in my hand. Wild Growth not really achieving much for me right now. In terms of what it does, create a random forest, great. What's that going to do? So my lands are pretty good right now. I don't really need random forests, so I'd rather keep my opponent guessing what's in my hand and what options I have. Yakapults. This Yakapult's not in a brilliant position, in all fairness. It wasn't in a fantastic position by here, to be honest, but it does cover this land at least, so it does cover the collection land, but in this particular moment, it's not really relevant because I have a water elemental sitting here. I would like to get some more hits. I might actually move this here on the following turn, just so it can start chipping away at harvesters on this spot. But we'll have to see what my opponent gets up to. I'm in a pretty good position here. 15 cards left in deck, 14 for my opponent. I still have a lot of gas I can draw into. I've drawn my Wild Growths now, so most of my bad draws are out of the way. Deepwood Stalker, kill a yak. Kill a yak. Okay. Nice. Mind blown, guys. Mind blown. All Wild Growths in hand and another Yakapult. Little bit odd. So yeah, let's just kill this. We can then Yakapult this. Finish this guy off. Move this up a slot so it can now cover this. And then we can maybe just put this back here to collect Faeria for us. That's a lot of Yakapults. It's a lot of Yakapults. Probably very frustrating to deal with. So Grove Guardian's in such an awkward position because if it moves here to kill this, I finish it off with my Yakapult. If it moves here to collect, I shoot it with my Yakapult, and then there's a 2/2 block in it. It's just very, very awkward. And, you know, starving my opponent of Faeria, make sure it can't play all these very expensive cards. So that's absolutely fine. I can finish this off now. I could even power up if I wanted to, but I'm probably going to use my power up to finish off this Guardian. Let's take a draw. That's interesting. If only there was a way I could move this yak. Let's take a draw. Okay. We'll take the lake here just in case we pick up Battletoads, and then we can put a double collector on this side. But it's looking pretty bleak for my opponent here. I don't really see how he makes a comeback. Faerie Golem, well, it's not too bad. Can I kill it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I can finish it. Oh, I can actually kill it. Even better. So, run this in. And they're just going to scoop there, knowing that I had the answer to the Faerie Golem. And this deck's awesome. I really like this deck. It's a lot of fun. I'd recommend giving it a go. That wraps up this episode of Become a God. I really enjoyed this deck, so big shout outs to Calussien for coming up with it and performing really well in the Ruunin's Open. There may be hope for Faeries yet. I'm really excited to see how this archetype develops in the future. I'd strongly recommend playing this deck as well if you've never tried a Faerie deck out. I think this is a good start. It's a lot of fun. It does take a bit of practice, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. Be sure to check out the previous episodes of Become a God this week. I came up with a red-yellow mid-range deck. It was a little bit different. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Be sure to leave me some feedback about the list. It's up for changing. I'm up for experimenting, so if you have any suggestions, be sure to let me know. You can also check out Green-Red Crackthorn that was piloted by Mino Caro during the Ruunin's Open. So another competitive deck at the highest level of Faeria being played here on Become a God, so you can also check out that video as well. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy green-blue Faeries.